We're going to take a trip out to Napa, California. Yes, we are, the Napa Valley. His band Run with Patience is an international gospel, blues, rock, faith-inspired, and award-winning band from Northern California. They were nominated Best Rock Band for 2015 and Best Song Award Lost Child in 2016. Please welcome back to the Reds Room stage, Joseph R. Ellison. Good evening, sir. How are you? Welcome to Reds Room.
Hey man, how you doing? Good to see you again. Good to see everybody.
Good, man. Doing well. Thanks for being here, man. So, what has kept you musically busy, you and the band, over the last couple of months since you've been on here?
Oh gosh, it's probably been almost a year since I've been here.
It's been a quick minute now.
Well, we went to Mexico and played down there, and then we were in England for a little bit and had a little jump pit stop over in Ireland and came back home. And I've been home kind of plugging away at my home church here and leading the worship team at my local church here, semi-local church. I've been leading the team over there in Oakland and kind of doing that and getting ready to hit the road here again during the summer. Gonna head back down to Mexico and then head over to back to England and Scotland, and then bounce over there to Romania and Serbia and some of the other usual places that we bounce to. So it's been pretty
Woo!
cool. Yeah,
Musically, you get around, you travel. I love it. Good stuff there.
tumbleweed.
Uh, of course, you hear a lot of his music here on Red's Room, a lot of his music on our radio network as well. His song Unbreakable gets a lot of plays on our radio network. Great stuff. We're about to hear some good stuff from Joe Ellison. What is the first song you've got to share with us tonight on your return to Red's Room here?
It's actually, I'm going to play a song by Johnny Cash. He's kind of
Ooh.
credited for it. He didn't write it though, and I have to clarify this though. And I can't remember the name of the actual writer. Just totally flipped off my mind right now. It just kind of jumped out the window though. But it's a song called "Ain't No Grave," and it's a song about
Oh,
not fearing death. So yeah, I'll do that, and then a couple other ones after that, and I'll be happy to explain it too. So.
perfect. Love it. Can't wait to hear his take on Ain't No Grave. Let's do it. Joseph R. Ellison right here on Red's Room.
Ain't no grave, hold my body down. Ain't no grave, hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, gonna rise up out of the ground. Ain't no grave, hold my body down. Ain't no grave, hold my body down. Hold my body down. Look there yonder, Gabriel. Put your feet on the land and see. Gabriel, don't you blow your trumpet till you hear from me. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. Jesus, meet me in the middle of the air. And if these wings don't fail me, I will meet you anywhere. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. 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 Thank you.
Oh yeah. Hey, no, great little classic Johnny Cash cover right here. Joseph R. Ellison right here on Red's Room. Red did a little research as you're doing the song there. He says Claude Eli, a
Exactly.
songwriter and preacher from Virginia,
Exactly what, yeah.
describes composing the song while sick with tuberculosis in 1934 when he was 12 years old. That's
Yeah,
how the song came into being Claude Eli there.
a bunch of people
There
have
you go.
sung it over the years, but yeah, Johnny Cash has kind of like gotten like the lion's share of the credit for that song, but yeah, he didn't write it.
Yeah, he kind of rose that one to prominence there. Probably did the most well-known, recognized rendition there for sure. Tanya Townsend loved that particular song. Bianca Mendoza, wow, love this. Good stuff there. Hopefully you're enjoying this
I'm
Friday
laughing because I
evening
got an
here.
angry kitty right here. I got to let him out of the room or she's going to be a distraction here. Give me like two
Oh, go
seconds.
ahead, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna let this animal out.
Great cover by Joseph R. Ellison, of course. I want to take this second while we've got a second here to remind you about tomorrow night here on Red's Room while we have a couple quick seconds. So we our first mention of that tonight. Now, tomorrow night, of course, we've got a 6-hour extravaganza. It's the 3-year anniversary of Red's Room as we know it online. Kat Lee is going to start out hosting part number 1 tomorrow with Tanique Beckles joining us. Sweet Life, Lisa Fenstermacher, Chris Pick will be joining us. And my sheet says Adrian, but I know that's going to be a different artist tomorrow. It escapes me who it is tomorrow, but I think it's Kat Lee herself, actually, if I remember correctly. Kat Lee will be performing on that particular show tomorrow. And then I will join you for the second half of the 6-hour extravaganza, where my guests will be Carrie Makiewicz, Lee Marie, Kaya Kenya, Lisa Lynch, Lisa De Silva, Oracle from Australia will be joining us, and I have been tapped to do an outreach. Aren't you also glad? At least I know one person over there anyway. That'll be tomorrow night on the 3-year anniversary of Red's Room. Join us, won't you please? About a dozen artists praising God one concert at a time. And since it's an anniversary, we go big or go home. And since, as Red likes to state, we're already for the most part home, so we might as well go big. And tomorrow we're doing that. We're going big. So join us tomorrow night on Red's Room. Back with Joe R. Ellison here, joining us here. His band is Run with Patience. How many years have you guys been together as Run with Patience? You guys been together a long time. What's your favorite part about just getting together with the band and songwriting and jamming? What's your favorite part about doing that?
We've been together for about 10 years. My favorite part of it, the whole thing, I mean, obviously, I enjoy playing music and playing guitar and all of that, but a lot of that, like my absolute favorite thing has just been meeting different people, experiencing different cultures around the world and all of that. It just really kind of opened my eyes up to a bunch of different things and the way that God moves in different parts of the world. And then the church experience is quite different overseas than it is here as well. I've been fascinated recently, especially because I do work, I'm a staff church person as well. I'm a church staff person as well. And I've been kind of fascinated with, especially this, with Easter having just passed by, and I'm sure a lot of us here in the room are familiar with how Jesus was arrested in the garden, and then Peter reaches out and cuts off the guy's ear. Does anybody know that guy's name? Anybody? Bueller? His name is Malchus. His name
Okay,
is
yeah,
Malchus. And it's kind of funny that, as long as we've known that story and as long as his name has been in the Bible, a lot of us don't know his name.
sure.
Malchus was a guy who was the servant of the high priest. A lot of people mistake him for being one of the soldiers, something like that. He's a servant. He was an indentured servant who probably had a debt that he needed to pay off, or maybe he was sold into that position. Marginalized person, wasn't looked as anything significant, probably viewed as property back in those days. And he just happened to be there in the garden because he was the servant of one of the high priests. So in other words, he probably got dragged there against his will. And Peter, who, like us, was a Christ follower, had all the best intentions in the world, winds up cutting this guy's ear off. Isn't it kind of funny how a lot of us well-intentioned Christians wind up doing the most damage to people that have no idea what's going on? And it's unintentional. Peter had all the best intentions, but the amazing thing is that Jesus reaches, first of all, he looks at Peter and goes, dude, bro, what are you doing? Put that away. And he goes over immediately and he heals this person, doesn't ask him why he wound up a slave or a servant or anything like that at all, doesn't even ask him to repent. He just thought his Father permit even this, and he heals the guy's ear. And his name is in the Bible for all of eternity. And isn't it just amazing that that's how Jesus works? He takes some of our best intentions that we wind up messing up,
Yep.
and he works it for good, and this guy
He does.
totally gets a lesson.
Yep.
So I've been kind of fixated on that. That is my favorite.
Sometimes we like to think that sometimes we know better than he does, and he always likes to remind us, despite our well intentions, despite what we think we're doing is the right
Peter
thing,
wasn't
sometimes
wrong,
we fall short, miss the measure. Our goodness is but wretched rags before him, and if we just end up giving all of our shortcomings, all of our failures, all of our mistakes, and even all of our good things over to him, he finds a way to turn it into something glorious and useful each and every single time.
Even our best intentions aren't good enough.
I believe there's a saying about good intentions somewhere. How do you? What's the biggest key for you about navigating a lot of the cultural challenges you just mentioned about worship leading, whether it be from the U.S. to Mexico to overseas in England? What's the biggest trick and the biggest challenge about navigating some of those cultural challenges that you face when leading worship in different countries like that?
Probably the biggest challenge, and it really isn't that much of a challenge, it's just the language, to be honest, because I think the language of love, God's love, is pretty much a universal language. And I think that speaks throughout. I mean, I have plenty of friends that I've met there over the years that are in different parts of the world, Hungary and Serbia, and that don't speak a lick of English, but yet we keep in contact with each other. They send me pictures of their kids and their families whenever I go. It's like this awkward silence where we're kind of sitting there, but like we know why we're there, Matter of fact, I have like some little Serbian nieces and nephews now that I've been kind of anointed like the grand uncle to. I'm like, you're gonna have to explain this to this kid when he gets older. But I think those threads that kind of weave us together in the love of God, I think that's international. I think that God speaks through that and isn't bound by that. I think the biggest hurdle is just us getting out of our own way, us trying to, quote unquote, stand up for our rights and what we want and what we like and our preferences and all that stuff like that. And as the older I get, the more I think that God probably doesn't care about half the stuff we think he does. I mean, I'm just guessing, I'm spitballing, but I think that
you're probably not far off the mark there. Oh,
I don't think he puts as much emphasis on the things that we think he does. And again, we just wind up, in our humanness and in our brokenness and our self-proclaimed, self-righteousness, we wind up with misplaced anger and misplaced, intentions, and we wind up cutting some dude's ear off. Bro, I'm just here, I'm just doing my job. But this next song I'm going to do, actually going to be a combination with another song. Is a song that Red always asks me to do, and it's called Unbreakable. And it's kind of from the perspective that Jesus hasn't, we haven't gone through anything that Jesus hasn't experienced, whether it be frustration, betrayal, or brokenness, or anything like that at all. He very much identifies with what we're going through. And he's above it all, and we can be too through him. So I guess I'll go ahead and start. Is that okay?
Unbreakable. Take it away. Let's do it.
Whoops. never ever take you from my hand. I can never ever take you from my hand. There's no obstacle in front of me strong enough to bend or break me. Strong enough to bend or break me. I am unbreakable. I am unstoppable. Unbreakable. I am unbreakable. I've been beat down, left for dead. You can rest assured I'll rise again. You can rest assured I'll rise again. I am unbreakable. I am unstoppable. Unstoppable. I am unstoppable. We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. And we pray that all unity may one be restored. And they'll know we are Christians by our love. By our love, yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. 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 Unbreakable, unbreakable. I am unbreakable, unbreakable, unbreakable. I am unbreakable. I am unbreakable. I am unstoppable. I am unbreakable. Yeah. Oh, lost my voice. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Whoo! Unbreakable. One of my favorites from Joe here on Red's room on this Friday night. I was hoping to hear that one. Good thing Red always asked for it. Although one of the panelists on here puts it pretty simply, where can we get this song? I'm sure this one, like most of them, is on the Spotify's, the streaming platforms, the YouTubes, all
It
this
is.
stuff.
It is. You can find all of our music on Spotify, Amazon, iHeart Music, Pandora, Apple Music. You could probably download it illegally someplace. So where, wherever there's free music, we do have a there's a music YouTube. I think we're on there as well. I think there's actually some videos of some of our live performances there as well. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, you can find it on. Actually, you can even find it like how you ever like post stories on like TikTok or
Hmm.
or on Instagram or whatever. You know how you can pull up music that you can find it there too. It's there as well. So
Good stuff. I had the CD when it first came out, says Red. Yeah, that song is not going anywhere on our radio rotation. I love featuring that one on the network. Um, Rihanna says incredible, beautifully skilled playing and singing. Song is so fly. I love your guitar playing in that one. I really do. Your guitar playing is just the guitar riffs on those. It's like my goodness, just
I don't think I've ever been called fly before. That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
there's such a that song is such a groove. I mean, it's such a piece of that song. It's just so fantastic. Oh, Cassie goes, oh, he's fly, all right. Although
Oh
Cassie,
man.
Cassie, maybe you can shed some light on this here real quick before we get to the next one. Cassie wants to know when was that song written? When did this particular song come to you?
Oh, let's see. We did our because that's on our second CD, and I think that came out in 2018, 2018, 2019, somewhere around in there. Was it 2016?
What
I think
she
it's
said, she
2018.
said it's going to be 2016. Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me though. I know we did our first album in 2014. Uh, I thought the second one came out in 2018. I did a worship CD with my church with the band, and that came out last year, maybe 2 years ago, 2021. And then I got a single coming out on June the 1st. So
Oh,
yeah,
did we hear single? New stuff coming
yeah,
out
a single
here?
coming out on June the 1st. Yeah.
Ooh, all righty. Tanya Townsend says amazing. Scott Parsons says anointed alternative tuning and rhythms. Yeah. Gotta love that. Joey got looks like you switched guitars here. You got another one you're about ready to do for us? Tell us about this one.
I do. It's actually a song off of our second CD. It's actually on our second album, and it's actually a single as well. And this guitar will hold tune. It's a song called "Hold On," and it's another favorite of mine that I love to perform. And it's just kind of all in the title. Hang in there, buddy. Hold on. Is this okay? I realize it's a different guitar, and I hope it didn't mess up the sound here. So
I
let
think
me
we're
know if it's
clear and good there. Correct?
all
We're
right.
good, Red, right?
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
All right. To the man who's down on his luck, with 9 to 5 on his delivery truck. Hold on, he will deliver you. Yes, he will. Yeah. To the girl who's wasting away, parents just decided to go their own way. Hold on, he will deliver you. Hold on, he will deliver you. When hope is gone and you feel the weight of the crashing sea, sickness came and left her and hold on. He will deliver you. Hold on, hold on, hold on. He will deliver you. When the hope is gone and you feel the weight of the crashing seas, hold on. He will deliver you. He will deliver you. Yeah, yeah. Oh, hope is gone, hope is gone. Whoa, whoa, and you feel the weight of the crashing seas. Hold on, and he will deliver you. Yes, when all hope is gone, hope is gone. Whoa, whoa, and you feel the weight of the crashing seas. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on. He will deliver you.
Woo! Joe
Thank you.
Bar Ellison right here on the Friday night edition of Red's Room. Oh, so cool. Yes, people are asking where to find the music. Of course, yes, some CDs come up with Joseph R. Ellison and the Run with Patience band. Of course, that is the band name. Yes, indeed. But if you search a lot of the music sites, yes, Red says if you find one, you should be able to probably find the rest right along with them. And Red did confirm, yes, the album was Run with Patience 2018. Yes, so
I was right.
did
I'm not
confirm.
senile yet.
Rhiannon says such great feel good Jesus music. Amen to that. Bianca says that was so good. Michelle Hutchinson, praise the Lord, beautiful worship, soulfully beautiful, says Scott Parsons. I don't know if you ever heard this before. Scott says shades of Richie Havens.
That's the first time I've heard that before, yeah.
Huh.
Usually somebody will tell me, you sound like Hootie and the Blowfish or Jimi Hendrix or
Oh, you got the
something like
Darius
that.
Rucker comparison, huh?
Darius Rucker, yeah. I couldn't think of that.
Oh, Joseph R. Ellison is here with us. Did you have one more for us tonight, or?
Yeah, sure. I do have a single coming out June the 1st, and it's called Choose Love. And it's got a bunch of different stories. And again, like I told you, I've been kind of meditating on the Malchus theme here. And it's just kind of a call for us to be our brother's keeper, so to speak. Sometimes you can be right and still do the wrong thing. You know, conversely, you can be wrong and do the right thing, I guess. You know, but I'm always reminded, especially lately, in of these particular times where everybody wants to argue and get their point across and go grab a sign and shout down somebody who's this, that, or the other, or different, or whatever it may be. That the two things that Jesus told us to do before he left this planet was to love each other and to treat your brother as yourself. You know, to love God, to love the Lord your God and, with all your heart, mind, and soul, and to love your brother as yourself. Ironically, those are the two things we always wind up screwing up the most. You know, all the Bible knowledge in the world and all of the scholarly knowledge in the world doesn't do you a lick of good if you don't have the wisdom to apply it and to apply it lovingly to other people. And so
Beautifully said. It says obviously in 1 Corinthians 13, we can have all the things, but if we have not love, we are but a clinging symbol.
yeah.
So
And so sometimes, you know, I'm not throwing stones. Trust me, I'm not throwing stones. I've had to reevaluate the way I talk to people and the way I interact with people and all that stuff like that. But sometimes that's the hardest thing to do because we can point out everybody else's little thing, but then it's like when somebody says, hey, gosh, um, somebody turns the finger on it, it's like, no,
Yeah.
Anyway, this song was actually inspired, first of all, because I had spoken with a friend of mine who was a victim of domestic abuse. And as a guy, I had no idea that it was that big of a deal. I mean, obviously it's a big deal, but I didn't realize how common it is. Another one of my friends, his son, or his brother, excuse me, came out as gay. And then, of course, you're dealing with, society seems like we have a shooting every other week. And so it's just kind of a song that kind of touches all of those things. And I know it's kind of a touchy subject, and a lot of people want to shy away from it. And like, gosh, maybe maybe this isn't the time or place. There needs to be a time and place for us to have these conversations, in a loving way with people. And so it's just kind of my way of kind of sticking my neck out here, and may rub some people the wrong way, But again, am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Whether he looks like me or dresses like me or believes the same things that I do, I'm still called to love that person. So anyway, here we go. I gotta remember the words. When will enough be enough? Set aside a foolish pride, a selfish need to be right. When will enough be enough to put our differences aside, shade each other's lives and choose love? Oh, choose love. There's a girl I know, tries not to show the bruises by her eyes, her ankles and her pride, and she's got nowhere to go. So she cries herself to sleep in her closet all alone. She needs love. She needs love. 18 years old, and out on his own. And mom and dad cast him aside because he hung a flag for pride and mother free. What will our friends say as they see you walking by? When they see us in the street, you got to go. But we all need love. You choose love. Will we learn to love despite whether we were wrong or right? We all need love. You choose love. Will we learn to love despite whether we were wrong or right, and choose love? Choose love. You choose love, live and fear instead, and choose your gun over cries of frightened children. Children for to run a life you've sworn to sacrifice. And let it asking for your rights, despite the one who gave his rights up for love. Will we learn to love despite whether we were wrong or right? Will we learn to love despite and choose to save each other's lives and choose love? Oh, choose love. Thank you guys so much for having me. Really appreciated it.
Such a reminder to, above anything, to choose grace, compassion, mercy, love, faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these, the word says, is
Yeah.
love. And that song is just a reminder that no matter what we do, to do all things that we do, as the word calls us to do, in love. Good stuff. Choose love. June 1st, wherever you get your music, go stream the heck out of that one. June 1st. Joe, tell us where we can find you real quick on the socials, website, all that good stuff if we want to continue following your journey and where you might be next.
Most prominently, you can find me on Instagram under my own name, Joseph R. Ellison, or under the band's name, Joe Ellison and RWP. We do have a Facebook page if you want to follow us there too, but I will warn you, I need to do a better job of keeping up with it because I'm hardly on Facebook these days. But Instagram and Facebook and gosh, I don't have a Twitter. We don't have a Twitter because my personal opinion, I just think it's a cesspool. But you know, oh gosh, but yeah, I don't do Twitter. I'm barely on Facebook, but yeah, but you can find us there aside from all the streaming platforms and all of that too, though. So.
And if we are ever in the beautiful Napa Valley in the Bay Area near Oakland, what church might we find you in case anybody is down in the Oakland area looking for a church? Where might we find you leading at occasionally down over there?
I am the music guy over at Regeneration Church in Oakland. It's off of East 15th Street, off of the Lake Shore Avenue exit in Oakland there. And it is a wonder. I've been there for about a year. I started off kind of pitching in because I was working at a church here in Napa. And then, long story, I'm not there anymore. It's a long story, and I'm not going to bore anybody with it. But, and so I wound up kind of filling in space over at Oakland Church because they needed somebody. I had no idea they were looking for a worship leader. I just thought maybe the guy was on sabbatical or something like that. So I'd been filling in on and off for about 6 or 7 months, and the pastor approached me. He goes, "Hey, I'd like you to could you pray about something for us? We need a music guy." And I seriously, I kid you not, this was my answer. I said, I don't know if I know anybody off the top of my head, but if somebody comes to mind, I'll send them your way. And he's like, "No, we mean you." And I was like, "Oh," because I wasn't thinking about it. And so I was like, "Oh, well, okay." And it's such a wonderful little community there over in Oakland. It's super diverse, and I've just really enjoyed being there. It's been a breath of fresh air for me too. So yeah, Regeneration Church over in Oakland. I'd send you to the website, but I don't know what it is because I just went over. I'm like the worst staff member. I think we have a Facebook page. I think we have a website. I think, but if you Google Regeneration Church Oakland, I know they stream their services live over the internet and all that stuff like that. So that's where I am majority of the time on Sundays. So
Well,
if
Joe,
I'm not
continual
traveling,
blessings to you personally and professionally. Thank you for joining us here on Red Room. It's a pleasure having your musical gifts and talents here to share with us tonight. Much love to you, brother. Thank you so much for being here tonight on Red Room.
thanks, man. Thanks for having me.